All right, guys, so we didn't actually crush a Fujifilm GFX-100. That was just Nick and I playing a bit of a prank on Evelyn here.
So not funny.
It was wicked, I thought.
Well, the GFX-100 is a weather-sealed camera, and it's fairly durable, but I don't think it could take the pressure of one of these guys. But this camera packs an impressive punch itself. It's a 102 megapixel medium format camera with a backside illuminated CMOS sensor.
One big feature that this camera has that no other medium format camera has is built-in image stabilization. It's a 5-axis stabilized system, which allows you to shoot lower shutter speeds than you think you could be able to with a medium format system.
Yeah, and that's combined with a hybrid phase detection autofocusing system with 425 points, and this gives you almost 100% coverage of the sensor.
When I was walking around the parade route earlier this morning, we were shooting the crowds and different events going on. I had to remind myself, I have 102 megapixels at my disposal here, but also medium format. Now I'm used to shooting with a crop sensor or full frame sensor that's more of a 3:2 form factor. These guys use a 4:3 ratio, which changes how you look a little bit. Now I really like that aesthetic, and I really love the medium format aesthetic, how you kind of get a little wider field of view, but a shallower depth of field than you get with especially a crop or a full frame camera. But with this much resolution, I can take a look at a scene and I can look at it as multiple scenes all put together. And I love having that ability. This camera features a quad-core processor, and I was really impressed with how fast this camera could process the files. In fact, at the Stampede Parade, it was really nice to be able to shoot at 5 frames per second. That's crazy for a medium format camera. What I like about this camera is that it has in-body image stabilization, and in a busy event like a parade where there's a ton of people, I don't have to carry a tripod around, and this gives me some extra flexibility.
One thing I'm so happy they brought from the X series cameras, my X-T3, is the hybrid phase detection autofocus system, and this has a contrast detect confirmation. Now, it's a really confident system and it works really well for medium format, and that's because it's implemented on the sensor and you're getting almost at 100% coverage. Now, it does have face and eye detection. Keep in mind that it's not going to work as fast as some of the APS-C sensor cameras, and that's primarily dependent on the lenses. Because you're moving so much glass around, it does take a little bit longer for it to acquire that focus calculation. But otherwise, I mean, I was pretty blown away with it. It is possible to get that documentary reportage photography in the moment and capture those fleeting moments as they happen. Now, with this medium format camera, like the others, you have some different shutter options to choose from. You can shoot with mechanical or electronic, or first curtain with electronic, and there's different pros to cons to each of them. For example, mechanical, you might get a little bit of that shutter shock or vibration with it, but it prevents a lot of the other kind of image issues that you might see with, say, electronic. Electronic is, of course, beneficial if you want to shoot completely silently, but we were seeing a lot of rolling shutter problems, giving you that really kind of wobbly distortion in your still images. Now, I would say the most versatile option is first curtain with electronic, and this is going to prevent a lot of the shake or the shutter vibration that you might get with just mechanical alone. Now, where I think this camera really shines is in a little bit more of a controlled environment. So we wanted to do some handheld environmental portraits of our good friend Nick Foy.
Now, he's a heavy equipment operator for a company called Volker Steven, but he's also a photographer as well.
Yeah, so he brought us out here in the middle of nowhere on the edge of Calgary to shoot these big, heavy machines, which we thought would be a perfect test for this 102 megapixel sensor.
Now, we were running just a simple one light setup, and it's something to be aware of. This does have a maximum sync speed of 1/25 of a second if you're using mechanical shutter.
That might be okay with newer light setups like the Godox that we were using, because you're able to do the high speed sync.
Yeah, now you will reduce the power of your flashes, of course, and there's some limitations that way, but for the most part, we got some amazing results.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing to be able to shoot with, say, the 23mm wide angle lens and really get that big perspective of these huge machines, as well as Nick as our subject.
Yeah, now I love the 110 lens on this camera. It allows me to compress it a little bit more, and it's a gorgeous portrait lens.
Yeah, now the other nice thing is that these files have incredible dynamic range. We were finding in the sky detail, you can get some really dramatic results by really pushing those shadows and highlights.
I like the feeling and handling of this camera, although I did find after a period of use, my thumb was getting a little bit sore with this little thumb rest.
Yeah, me too. The ergonomics of it are quite nice, and that grip is comfortable, but it is large. And so if you're kind of clenched around it for hours and hours of shooting, handheld, it's gonna start to catch up to you. We also have to mention that the grip on this camera for the vertical integration is very sexy looking. It's very sleek, but it's not very practical. It doesn't have any kind of coating on it.
Now, I agree. When I picked this camera up and I held it this way and then I held it with a horizontal grip, I'm like, what are they thinking? But then I realized this camera has so much resolution, and in the 4:3 form factor, I don't use a lot of vertical shooting anyways. I have so much resolution I can shoot everything horizontal in how this camera feels the best and have plenty of resolution to crop how I want.
That's true. Yeah, and maybe that was even part of their decision-making process when they were designing the camera, is that there's not as much need to do long-term shooting in that position. So we'll let that one go. But yeah, this camera really has some interesting features that make it unique. One of them is they don't have dials, which I was kind of missing the shutter dial, but it does have some virtual dials on the top LCD panel.
Yeah, and you can toggle back and forth through this, and you can actually have your histogram on the LCD panel on top, which I find really handy.
There's also another little screen panel on the bottom, and that gives you a lot of different customizable options to look at. So you can look at your different shooting options. You can also make that into a histogram as well. And so it really has the professional photographer in mind for being able to see what's going on with your photography.
Yeah, now a big part of the grip is the fact that it contains 2 batteries. And this camera isn't the best on batteries, I find, but it's not bad.
Yeah, SEPA is 800 shots, and you do have USB-C charging, but keep in mind that that part can be pretty slow. We found it was taking about 2.5 to 3 hours to charge up both batteries in the camera through USB-C.
Yeah, so be well aware I would carry an extra set of batteries with me if I was using this in a professional situation.
Yeah, now I have to thank Fuji for incorporating the actual charger in the box of this camera. We've seen some other manufacturers take that away, so you have to buy the charger separately. So really grateful that they have both charging options. One of the reasons why this does require so much battery power is because it has one of the highest resolution EVFs. That's absolutely beautiful, but it chews up a lot of battery life.
Yeah, so it's 5.76 million dots of resolution in this viewfinder, and it's beautiful, and I find myself using that way more actually to review photos than the rear screen. And if I want to, I can pull it off and I can put on the tilting hinge if I want to do little lower angle shots through that, which is a really cool feature.
Yeah, but you'll be absolutely amazed by how this looks. I mean, it's 0.86 magnification, which is the highest magnification in an EVF, especially on a medium format camera. And so you're able to just look at those fine details, and you're not going to be able to see it as sharp on the back LCD panel. Another nice thing to see is that this camera is weather sealed, and so you can shoot in a lot of different environments.
I was at the parade and we got there, it was raining, right? And I wasn't the happiest camper. It was very early and it was raining.
It's very cranky.
But I had no concerns and qualms about leaving this camera exposed while we were out shooting in that.
Overall, I think that this camera is really impressive. I mean, image quality alone, using the 14 stops of dynamic range and being able to really push these 16-bit data-packed files, I think makes this camera really compelling.
So I like the fact that it's like an SLR camera in its functionality. I also like the fact that the pictures look great in the viewfinder, but then I get to the computer and it's another level again, right? It's very exciting.
And on top of that, we have all of this technology that we've been used to seeing now in full frame and APS-C sensor cameras coming into the medium format line, and that's really exciting. We're getting things like in-body image stabilization, making it so that you can handheld shoot a medium format camera on the go. Like that's pretty amazing. Plus you have the hybrid phase detection, autofocusing, and a lot of other things that are going to kind of propel the medium format system and make it competitive with it.
Yeah, this is probably the most exciting camera I've used in a long time. I mean, having that dynamic range, having this kind of resolution, having in-body stabilization, I can't get enough of this camera because it gives me the utmost in image quality.
Yeah, it really opens the door and the flexibility of who this camera could be made for, and at a fairly affordable price point compared to a lot of other super high resolution medium format cameras.
Yeah, now something else that's very compelling about this camera, it's actually a very viable medium format video camera, which I never thought I'd heard myself say.
Yeah, now we're starting to see some actual usable 4K footage from this medium format camera. It has things like a headphone jack, a mic jack, and of course with that in-body image stabilization, you have 5-axis, which basically makes it like a little gimbal inside of it. And I was pretty happy with how smooth and nice the video footage looked. You do have a bit of that rolling shutter, but overall, I mean, for a medium format camera, it's very, very usable.
Yeah, the video is very compelling, but this is primarily a stills camera in my view. I love the handling, I love the files, I like how it operates, and I love that it gives me this flexibility to take this super high image quality device out everywhere and use it for just about everything.
Yeah, it's really become a flexible system that a lot of photographers shooting pretty much any kind of genre of photography could get behind.
We've had a great time shooting this big camera against these big machines today.
Yes, again, a very special thanks to Nick Boy for getting us out here and for shooting these big, beautiful machines. Now we want to know, what do you think of this big, beautiful camera, the GFX-100? What do you think of medium format, and where do you think the technology is going?
Make sure you follow all of us on Instagram.
And if you're new to our channel, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so we can catch you again really soon.